Yo folks, and welcome to the channel. My name is Bork. In today's video, we'll be talking about Solana NFTs and NFTs in general. We'll be talking about different minting cycles and what exactly that means. So for this minting cycle, we're currently down just based off of market caps, and not to mention Twitter and Discord sentiment is kind of down. Previous week was 4% up. People were a little bit more happier. So Twitter and Discord sentiment was a little bit better. But how do you find NFT mints that are going to do well during these down cycles? I want to look at pesky penguins because they are the ones that sort of changed up the game, in my opinion, as far as the way you look at NFTs. And it wasn't anything overly complicated. It all started with Newt and the devs mission to essentially help everyone go Newt. And you guys might be wondering, what is Newt? Newt is Newt. And you can see they're vibing with other projects such as Thugbirds and Small Fish's NFT. And you guys are like, all right, this is madness. Like, what is going on here? What did they do differently outside of any other project? First, they're deflationary. Their mint was 0.25, and not to mention it is very simplistic art. And all of you guys are like, all right, that's cool, but this still doesn't make sense. It can make even less sense because this project looks like something in OpenSea, but you shouldn't judge the project based off of mint price and based off silly catchphrases. You should judge it based off of roadmap, right? But if you look at the roadmap, there's nothing ambitious really about this. It said create penguins, create Twitter accounts, stand up a Discord giveaways, reveal roadmap. There's gonna be launch giveaways, the penguin graveyard. But the most important thing that pesky penguins did, in my opinion, was the fact that they went Newt and they took Twitter by storm and made people start creating catchphrases, and they were memeing around and just vibing on every single post, and they attacked everyone just by going Newt. It wasn't complicated. It wasn't crazy. It was just something that they took advantage of and went by storm, because there'd be so many different people going Newt. The devs would go Newt, and then people would be retweeting, and it was just sort of a wildfire of going Newt. And they sort of created a craze around creating catchphrases in general. And now you sort of see every single project having all like these different catchphrases, whether it's like root, caca, all like these different things, right? And I know Thugbird started it with caca, but pesky penguins really took it to the next level because the devs were constantly retweeting like all of their members who would go Newt, and all of the Newt members or all of the pesky penguins would see it and just latch on to all those different tweets. And it was sort of like something that you could not ignore. And I think that's what made pesky penguins so easy to understand and easy for people to jump into, because it wasn't complicated. It was just people making Newt sounds and vibing and having fun with each other. And I think that's the most important piece that is missing right now when it comes to NFTs, is there's not enough NFTs that just have fun and mess around with people, sort of meme about. And Turtles NFTs was one of the first that did it, and not to mention Thugbirds was one of like the OGs that did it. And of course, like the grandfathers of it is going to be like SMBs. If there's one SMB that likes something, or if there's an SMB that does something, we sort of come in droves in some ways, right? But the most important part is pesky penguins really made catchphrases go absolutely insane. And another project that did that is going to be something like Baby Apes. They had Oogie, but they also did something different where they co-launched with Turtles NFT. And the reason why that's so important is because Turtles NFT is already a successful project in my opinion. And the reason for its success, you have diamond-handed holders, there's a strong meme game, there's a strong community that exists, and it essentially makes it so that Baby Ape will go to some Turtle NFT holders, right? Oogie is so easy to understand, not to mention the project looks so wholesome. I think you're sort of seeing the trend when it comes to like these new Solana NFT trends. Really easy to understand, anyone can sort of get behind it. It's not complex, it's not a crazy roadmap, it's not intimidating, it's easy to approach, and anyone can sort of do it. The new minting cycle sort of trend that people have been capturing, and something that I've been observing that's been really successful as of late. It's so easy to mess up as well, I have to say, because it's a matter of branding and interacting with your community, right? It's about retweeting certain people, it's about finding the memes, it's about having the fun. Obviously, you don't overthink like those different aspects when you're creating a brand, but at the end of the day, when you look at an NFT, it's sort of the Nike or the Amazon, or it's something that you have to vibe with and people can easily resonate with and easily sort of notice. And that's what Baby Apes and pesky penguins sort of did. Baby Apes capitalized on the fact that they had a good catchphrase, they had essentially like a dad with Turtles NFTs, and they even had Titan XBT, constantly like going oogie and celebrating them, and the devs doing the same thing. That's what you need when it comes to like different NFT projects sort of releasing. A very fervent fan base that's going to have fun, most of all, just sort of enjoy having like this NFT as their profile profile picture if you decide to do an animal one. I'm not saying it's easy to replicate this sort of behavior, but I love the way baby apes and pesky penguins did it. Let's talk about the most wholesome story that has come out when it comes to Solana NFTs, and that has to be Belugi's right here. And the reason why Belugi's is so wholesome is because it was released by this 14-year-old artist known as Abigail, and she wanted to essentially be a good role model for her younger brother who is 10 years old. Not to mention the roadmap is about helping beluga whales and nonprofits and cleaning the ocean. Also Sunshine Kids Foundation for children with cancer. It is such an insanely ambitious project for such a young person to technically try to achieve, and they did it. They sold out. They achieved everything that they wanted in this situation, and I'm sure they're going to continue this project and support it even further. But what's really nice is just seeing people with really natural intentions. There's no like, oh, we're gonna do crazy ambitious things. They're trying to just be good stewards of Solana NFTs and just NFTs in general. And if you look at the art, it's going to be one for one for every single Belugi. So I believe every single one was like hand illustrated, algorithmically generated, but it's just so nice to know that there was so much effort put into this, and it was created by a 14-year-old. There were 3 members, but at the end of the day, this is something that you don't see too often, where someone of a young age is trying to do something different with their life. And I think that is like the pure innocent story of Belugi's, and it's going to be one of the first, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see Abigail on the news for being like, you sold an NFT and you raised like X million amount of dollars, and that's absolutely insane. How did you do it? And she's just going to be like, I just did it on Solana NFTs and anyone can do it. And that's going to create a huge buzz. And I love Belugi's. Like, I have one myself. Not to mention I love Skylines. Any of the things I talk about, I don't specifically endorse with them, or I don't say you buy them. I just like them. It's like that simple, right? And that's all I wanted to say. And those are the things that stick out to me during downward minting cycles. You need to look at some projects that are essentially trying to focus on the fun, trying to focus on the community, because I think we get too tied up on market caps, we get too tied up on floor prices, and we forget how much fun it is just to be part of a community, and how much fun it is to essentially be an NFT degen and sort of just go around and just vibe with people. Because at the end of the day, when you are getting an NFT, you're essentially going into a community and you're interacting with people, and the way you interact with people online is so special with NFTs, because people don't judge you based off of the way you look. They judge you based off of vibe that the community that you are in, and that is just so important. And that's the moral of the story that I wanted to say. For downward minting cycles, look for projects that are just having fun, not just focused on the price. Let's go ahead and look big picture back again to the metrics. 215 sold for SMBs. Some of you might be worried, oh no, does this mean the world is going to end for SMBs? If you look right now, there is a very thin floor for 300. If you check just last month, you can see that the price to 300 was very difficult to get to. There was hundreds of SMBs that you have to purchase before you could even look at 300. And now we are technically like what, less than 100 away to once again touch that price. SMBs are sort of everywhere. When you see an SMB, in some ways you're like, oh my goodness, that's like the punks of Solana or what have you. The important part is that SMBs, they just continue to vibe. We continue to vibe, and we want to make the Solana ecosystem better just by having fun with everyone. And no matter what happens, no matter the price, if you understand that you're in it for the community, you're in it to essentially have fun with others, then the price will sort of take care of itself. And all you have to do is work with the devs and make sure it goes in that direction. I think the number one thing that gets people really twisted during like these market cap lows is you can't look at anything else. And until something fun sort of happens, something that breaks like the NFT utility, which Solsted's releasing, it sort of like broke the game with the amount of utility it provided. But maybe we look for something like that as well, you know, something fun that also has utility. But it's simple things that really make the Solana NFTs and NFT ecosystem fun in general. It's the things that you should look for when it comes to mints. I know we want to have really phenomenal art and crazy projects that will sort of blow you away when you look at them, but at the end of the day, it's all about having fun and the way you interact with the different community members, and how you want to represent yourself on Twitter, on Discord, and how you want to be essentially a good steward as an NFT holder. Because it's really that simple at the end of the day. It's nothing too complicated, because NFTs aren't about price, it's about community. But anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment. Follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Just look out for those positive communities and ways that that the devs are essentially enabling their community members to have fun. Not to mention they're working on some sort of roadmap, some sort of utility that you can actively see that's being worked on. Anyways, thanks so much. Have yourself a fantastic day and see you guys in the next one.